This man is drunk. Wait, am I drunk? I'm nobody. Yes, you do have a problem. God's got this. No, I got this. You're stupid. You're dumb. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a leader. I am Marcus J. Scott. I'm Marcus J. Scott, author of The Drunken Preacher, here to encourage critical thinking, social awareness, advocate growth, resilience, provide hope, and help you find faith. Well, welcome to another edition of The Drunken Preacher Podcast. I am Marcus J. Scott. Man, I tell you, I had a super busy week last week. And, as I was doing all the things that I normally do and then helping out my father, man, I tell you, I just felt so drained over the weekend. I felt so drained. And I said, I feel like I'm weak, but I got to keep pushing. And it reminded me of a message that I just did recently at our Saturday service. Same strength, different strategy. Yeah, same strength, different strategy. And I thought about it more and more as I began to do this episode. I said, God is my strength, and God is always going to be there. So God is who gives us the strength. But sometimes he gives us a different strategy, a different way we got to go about doing things. And so I'm reminded of the book of Joshua in Joshua chapter 1, where Moses has died, and now it's Joshua's turn to go take the promised land. Because God had promised the Israelites when they came out of Egypt that he was going to take them to a promised land. But Moses didn't make it, and some of the people who were traveling didn't make it, but it was Joshua's turn because Moses had died. Now, here's the thing. God didn't change. The same strength that Moses received through God was the same strength that Joshua would receive to take that land. But there was a new strategy. There were new things that they had to do. When I talked about my message, I said it was their faith that brought them out of slavery. It was their faith that brought them out of Egypt. And Moses really had to rely on faith. The people had to believe in Moses while Moses had to trust and believe in God. But then in order to take what God had already given them, God required action. He required action. He required them to be obedient. They needed some obedience. And I said that faith brought them out, but obedience will take them into the promised land. And so I want to pose this question to you today. What new strategy is God giving you? What new strategy is God trying to have you to open up and take what he has already promised you? He's promised you some things, and he's saying it's time for a new strategy. I'm reminded, for those of you who are old enough to remember, we used to have something called the Yellow Pages, a big, thick phone book that, if you wanted to find a plumber or electrician or even a church, you would flip through the Yellow Pages, right? You flip through the Yellow Pages and find the phone number or find the address, find out where it is, right? And you could get that information out of a big, thick book. Now, the thing is, we still need that same information, right? But we're not using big, thick phone books anymore. We're not using books where you got to flip through the pages to look for the church or the real estate agent or the plumber or the electrician or whatever it is you look, or the restaurant or the store. We have Google now. We have, and now even Chat GPT. I was teaching a class a couple weeks ago, and the guy, it used to be, even Google is starting to transition or become what we would consider somewhat old. I mean, it's still liable, But I had a person in class tell me, he said, hey man, I chat GPT'd you. What? Yeah. He put me in chat GPT and all my stuff came up. And so my point is there's new ways of doing things. There's new strategies. There's new ways on how we function. Now, it's the same information. We want the same information. We still need phone numbers and addresses and where the place is located, but we're no longer using the phone book. We're using technology. So I want to pose this to you today. What is it that God wants you to take that he's already promised you? He's already said you're going to start your own business. He's already said that you're going to be a millionaire. He's already said that you're going to lead a group of people. He's already said that you're going to have a successful business. He's already said that you have the position at the job, the new position at the job. He's already said that he needs you to be in certain situations, but he's giving you a new strategy. One of the ways to get that new strategy is to spend time with him. And so first we have to spend time with him. First we have to recognize that God is our strength. We have to recognize that where are we getting our strength from? You know, sometimes we rely on our own strength, and God doesn't want us to do that. You know, when I think about Joshua going back to that story, he was talking to God first. And God was telling him, be strong and courageous. And so he had a relationship with God first. A lot of times, sometimes we get off track because we're trying to do things in our own strength. We're not really consulting God in our direction. Now, one of the things that we also need to do in consulting God is, for me, I'm in my word. And so I pray, I spend time with God, I'm quiet, and I read my word. How many of you are at least spending 5 minutes with God? Spending 5 minutes a day. Start off with 5 minutes. You know, some of us, you know, for me, I'm trying to get better at spending hours, right? In the morning, early in the morning, I get up, I do my devotion, and then I go walking. And then I pray and I walk and talk with God. But that's just me. And I'm trying to get to literally, you know, 2-3 hours a day that I actually spend with God. And sometimes I reach that goal and then sometimes I don't. But it starts off with 5 minutes, prayer time, reading the word. And I would go even a step further and say, you know, reading books, reading material, maybe listening to some positive podcasts, listening to some ministers, getting your spiritual self filled so that you can have that strength, so that you can have that energy and that strength to move forward. You know, there have been days and times just like on today that I just got through telling you I had a long week. And yes, while I did get some rest over the weekend, there were times when I didn't think I was going to make it based on physical strength, physically being weak. But I truly believe because I had that time with God, that he gave me the strength. He gave me physical strength in order for me to keep going. Some people say, I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I say to myself, I don't know how I do it. But it's the strength that he gives me. It's the strength that he's given me from spending time with him, from calling on his name, from me saying, God, I need your help. And so God provides me the strength. The other thing that he does is he gives me a circle, a community of people. Yeah, some of us are not in the right circles. A lot of the reasons I am where I am now is because God has allowed me to be in some of the right circles, around some of the right people, in order to help push me, in order to help encourage me, in order to help me move forward in that strength. Why? Because I have a several group of men, calls and circles that I'm in that pray for me, that encourage me, that help me to get some of that strength. Why? Because the Bible also says where 2 or 3 are gathered. And so there's some circle of people, there's some friendships, there's some partnerships that you need to be a part of to help push you, to help you with that strength, that can believe with you for that strength. And sometimes pray when you don't feel like it or that you can't because you're in that weak space. And so while we need to ourselves spend time with God for that strength, we also need those circle of people, those partnerships to agree in prayer with us, to help to give us some encouraging words at times where we need it. And then the other thing that we have to do is we have to be ready to shift. A lot of times we get so comfortable with how things are. I thought about, I like to watch Shark Tank a lot. And there was this one episode on Shark Tank. This guy came on and he presented the people who were on Shark Tank. He presented them, I believe it was called Doorbot. It was called Doorbot, and he was like, "Yeah, you could put this camera on your door, and you know how people, the UPS person drops your packages off. They can ring the doorbell. You can see, you can tell them where to leave it or something like that." And nobody invested in this guy. Nobody invested in this guy because some of the things that they were saying was, I just don't see people, needing, wanting a camera on their door or talking to the UPS guy, or all this stuff that they were saying because it just had never been done. They had never seen it before. The guy changed the name to the Ring Camera. And most everybody knows that has changed the game. That has changed the way we have doorbells now. And so there are a lot of different companies, but Ring was one of the first ones. And now almost everybody has a Ring camera doorbell system, and they got other things as well. But it was a new strategy. It was something that was new. It was a shift. And the thing was, they were comfortable with the way things were. Now, here you would think that business owners potentially could see something that was could be developed that was, futuristic. They themselves had done things that potentially nobody else had done. And yet here was something that seemed so simple that was a shift in how we did things. But I'm sure it was uncomfortable. Why? Because they couldn't see it at the time. What is it that's in your life right now that you're supposed to be moving forward, that you're doing, that you see there needs to be a shift? The problem is it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to make that shift. And so if you're going to move forward into the promised land, if you're going to begin to do a new strategy, if you're going to begin to walk in what God has for you, it's going to require a shift, and that shift is going to be uncomfortable. That shift is going to be uncomfortable. And so are you prepared to be uncomfortable? I heard somebody say this. I can't remember who said it, but they said, if you're going to be successful, you need to become comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah, if you're going to shift to be successful, you need to become comfortable being uncomfortable. When I think about that story going back to Joshua, and they went and they looked to see, about taking this land. When they went to go look at spies, I think 12 of them were sent out, and 10 came back and said, "Man, we like grasshoppers to them." They were looking at the problem. It was uncomfortable. I don't know if we can take that. They giants over there. And yet 2 came back and was like, "Yo, we can take them. We can take them." They were looking at God. Their shift was in their thinking. How are you thinking? Do you see yourself as a grasshopper? Or do you see God as being bigger than your problem? Sometimes it's just a matter of shifting our mindset. Yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of shifting our mindset. A lot of times we're looking at what's in front of us, the problem, but we're not looking up at God, who's bigger than the problem, who can take on the problem. Yeah, we might be little. I think of the story of David and Goliath. There was no way that David on his own strength could beat Goliath, but God was bigger than the giant. And so we have to shift the way we think. Do you think God can handle your small itty bitty problem? I know you think it's big. I know it seems big. I know it looks big. Oh, it's too much for me to pay off my house in 10 years. Oh, that big bill is too much for me to start the business and become $1 million company. Oh, it's too big for me to apply for the job. I'm not sure that I'm qualified for it. I had one of my coaches, my mentors, tell me this. God doesn't call the qualified; He qualifies the call. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Coach Crump tells me that. Coach Crump said God doesn't call the qualified; God qualifies the call. And so, if God is calling you to start the business, if God is calling you to something new, if He's telling you to take this new strategy and shift your mindset, you don't have to be qualified. He's qualifying the call, which means if He called you to do it, He's going to qualify you. If He called you to do it, He's going to qualify. You don't need to already be qualified. He will qualify you because He has called you. So He qualifies the call. If He called you first, then He will qualify you. And so we have to shift our mindset. If we're going to move forward with a new strategy, we have to shift our mindset. And then lastly, we have to look at the strategy. God gives us instructions for what's next. Now, sometimes it's not always clear on what the strategy is or how we ought to maneuver in the strategy. You know, I'm reminded of the story of Abraham where God said, go take your only son and sacrifice him. And then go to a place I will show you. Wait a minute. You want me to start the journey? You haven't even told me the destination yet? Yeah, I don't even know exactly where it is. And you want me to go? You want me to start the journey? Yes. God says start the journey. God says start the new strategy. God says start the new business. God says start in that direction. Well, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I don't know the end goal. You know how to take the first step, don't you? You know how to take the first step in the new direction. Sometimes we question the direction too much. Sometimes we question the new strategy too much. If God gave you a gift, something that's deep down on the inside of you that can fix a problem and say, this is how I want you to handle it. Sometimes it's confusing. Sometimes He doesn't give us the end destination. He just wants you to start. He just wants you to start. How's that look? 1 foot at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time. You know, I said here recently that I was going to start talking to God at least 3 times a day. You know, it's great that I get up in the morning and do my meditation. But God said, I need you to talk to me throughout the day. And so I promised God that I would talk to Him at least 3 times a day in the morning. Hey, God, what is it that you would have me to do today? What is my assignment for today? What is the order that I need to be in today? And then sometime during the middle of the day, hey God, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? If not, help me to get back on track for today. The prayer says, give us this day our daily bread. So even what I did yesterday may not necessarily be what I'm supposed to be doing today. And so in the middle of the day, God, am I on track? If I'm not on track, help me to get back on track. And then in the evening, God, I did everything that I believe you said that I was supposed to do today. If I didn't, please forgive me and help me get on track tomorrow. Did I do what I was supposed to do today? That's taking 1 step at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 moment at a time. I mean, even breaking down the day by day, how about hour by hour? God says, I need you to start the new strategy. I need you to get up and start the new strategy. How many of you are ready to start the new strategy? It's the same strength. God is there for you. Do you have your circle of people? Do you have your partnerships? Do you have those who would encourage you, who will not tear you down, but who would lift you up, who would pray with you, who would pray for you, even when sometimes you can't pray for yourself? Do you have that circle of people around you? Are you spending time with God? But then do you have those circle of people around you? And then will you shift your mindset? Will you begin to shift your mindset in how you think and see the problem? In fact, I would encourage you not to even look at the problem anymore as much as looking at God. God is bigger than the problem. God, I know you can take care of this. Just show me how to do it. I'm not even worried about the problem no more. I'm not even worried about in debt $200,000, $100,000, $50,000. I don't care what it is, $1,000,000. God, I just need you to show me on how to tackle the debt. I need you to show me how to cut back. I need you to show me how to budget. I need you to show me what I'm supposed to be doing. But here's the goal that I want to do. Here is the goal that I believe that you can help me with. That I know you can take care of it for me. Just show me my part. Just show me what I need to do. A shift in how you think about how you look at that situation. And then lastly, start. Start the new strategy. God says go. He wants you to start. That's what he wants you to do this week. Let's start the new strategy. Let's start on the business plan. Let's start on the new song. Let's start on the new relationship. Let's start on whatever it is God told you to do. Whatever it is God told you to do. There's some things that I'm going through and doing right now. It looks impossible. It really does. I'm like, God, I don't see how you're going to take care of this. I don't see how it's going to be done. There's no way I can do this, but I know you can. And so what are you doing today? And those things I've started, I've taken a foot forward. I've taken that one step forward. And trust me, it's nerve-wracking. It's scary. It's unsettling. I said it, it's uncomfortable. But I'm learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And the thing that I'm doing is I'm taking that step forward. It's a little scary. It's a little shaky. But I'm taking the step forward. All right. Hey, that's my time for today. I appreciate you being with me. Make sure you share, subscribe, and like us. Share it with a friend. Marcus J. Scott 4040. Marcus J. Scott 4040. Every Monday morning at 5 a.m. Every Monday morning at 5 a.m. And if you don't catch us live, you can always catch us on the YouTube channel, Marcus J. Scott 4040. Marcus J. Scott 4040. I'm sorry, the Drunken Preacher Podcast. I'm super, super excited. Listen, I talked to my mom today, and I'm gonna on yesterday. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna try to get her on for next week. So look out for that. Mom, I hope you're on our next show. I know the people love to see you. I had a couple requests because there's some people that's saying, I wonder what she was thinking. I wonder what she thinks about the book. I wonder how she was dealing with all this. Because there are some parents here that listen to me, that listen to the podcast, and they're like, I just wonder how. You heard what my dad had to say. You heard what my siblings had to say. But we got to get moms on. We got to get moms on. Can't wait. Come on, mom. Let's come on the show. Then we got some other exciting guests for you. Man, I'm super, super excited what God is doing in my life. And I really want to drop this new thing on you. I have not shared it with anybody yet. I'm still holding on to it. But we're going to get it to you. We're going to get the information to you. I'm not sure when I wanted to drop. I just want some things to come about first before I actually drop it. And listen, it's something that's scary. But I'm taking this step forward because I believe God is my strength. It's the same strength. We're doing a new strategy. He's doing a new thing in my life, and he's doing a new thing for us. Those of you who are in our community and who follow and watch me, man, I'm super, super excited. This thing is about to explode. And so I'm happy, I'm grateful, I'm thankful for those of you who have taken the time to read my book, watch and share my journey with me. But there is more to come. God, it has so much in store for us. And I believe he's here to help you and I grow and be the best version of ourselves we can be. All right. So you know how I always end the show, always. have a heart of gratitude, and the strength to keep moving forward. God bless you.
It's your time. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. The drunken preacher. Yeah. The drunken preacher. Yeah. It's your time. It's your time. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher. The drunken preacher.